Welcome to a short presentation of one use case for Etienne, the professional collaborator agent. Etienne is not a personal AI assistant. It's intended for use in a company environment, and because companies typically provide different roles, Etienne is based on a role model which separates responsibilities. Today we are in the role of Anna, which works on projects for our company, and Anna is supported by Armin, the administrator, which is responsible for the security and the deployment of Etienne. There are different other roles, but they are not so important right now. Etienne's role model can be adjusted, so this is a kind of minimal setup. Let's see what Anna is doing in her daily business. So currently Anna works on 3 projects. As we can see in her personal local workspace, which is mounted on her laptop, she has 3 different directories where she keeps the documents. For example, for the compliance check of a workflow in one of the industrial plants of the company. Another project of hers is the design specification document for a new product, and another project is a spare part order form. The spare part order form is a workaround because the SAP online store is not available currently, and the customers at least need to be able to order some spare parts for their daily business. What do we see in the next few steps? You can see the orchestration done by Etienne when applying the usual AI features like agent skills, MCP tools, code creation to a real problem. And Etienne focuses always on one project. So you can see the compliance check is completely unrelated to the design specification, and design specification and compliance check are completely different things than creating a spare part order form. So let's jump in and log into the user interface of Etienne. So we identify in the user role, and now we create a new project. So let's say this project is the spare part order, and we need to think very closely about how to define the project's goals and desired outcome constraints. So typically you would take your time to really detail out this information. I just paste in a prepared definition, and we can see some basic information about the spare part order process. So a user must order at least 200 euro, for example, and if a user ordered something, we want a notification email to be sent so that the whole thing we are building here acts like a very little online store with a limited capabilities. So the next thing to choose is how this project should be supported. So think of each project requiring probably a different specialist, and because Armin has some experience with the company, he defined three specialist roles to use, and Anna can pick from these, but we could choose web designer, but because a simple order form probably does not require fancy design, we're gonna stick with the general assistant. And now in the next step, we could add special capabilities. Armin defined a few standard skills which are mandatory and we cannot remove them. So public website creation is one of those features, so very handy. Schedule task might be handy, let's see. We could choose additional skills from the company's repository. So there's a kind of rug search, there's a voice assistant thing. Let's not choose those to make it not overcomplicated. In the next step, we could give the agent tools like yeah, send and receive email. So because we need an email notification, we probably should add the email tool. If we want to check what's really going on, we can see the provided tools by this MCP server, and we can see, okay, it offers something like email send and email inbox. So let's choose this and go to the next step. So external agents are third-party agents from outside our company, and they are probably very pricey, and we don't need a HubSpot agent or a rent-a-car agent in our case, so we pick nothing and go next. Let's do a very basic customization. We could customize colors and a lot of UI stuff, but let's just say this is the spare part order form. So let's create. So now you can see this is the spare part order form project we are in. We have the MCP tools, the email tool, and we have the two mandatory skills installed in this project. Because it's on Anna's laptop, we can take a look into the project folder. So the project folder is quite empty, only two default ones here. And this folder is the place where the agent is going to collaborate with Anna. So we can change the mission we gave, or we can review the role which was assigned at any time. But let's simply start. Please create the public website for spare parts. Oh, we now must think about where should the data come. So Anna remembers a colleague sent her a list of spare parts available in the last meeting, and so we're gonna provide the information to our agent to use. Anna just drags and drops the received spare parts list into the workspace, and we can see, okay, what's in there. Let's do a preview, and in the preview pane we see it's some kind of computer format containing some kind of products and prices. So what's going on in this preview pane is when the agent creates something later on, we will see it live here. So let's continue with the description what to do. Please and use the data from spare parts JSON. Yeah. So we gave a lot of information in mission, we added the spare parts data, so we want the agent to be creative and start right away. So let's see what happens. So the agent now scans the provided stuff. It finds the spare parts JSON file we just copied in. It sees, okay, it needs to use the skill for building public websites. And now the agent is able to ask us questions which are essential. So that means it's not something like, it's good if you provide this information, but it's essential for the agent's decisions. In this case, the public website skill requires us to say, okay, what is the language of the website? So because the SAP system only is offline for Germany, we just need a spare part form in German language. So we submit the answer, and the agent is picking up again. It shows us a task list which it created, and now we can see it's creating the directory structure. And if we look over here in the File Explorer, we see it added a web folder into our project, placed orders, and so on. And now it's creating the website itself inside these folder structures. So another thing would be to create the API endpoints. That is something which can be understood by Anna, but it's not necessary because the agent does all the work. We can see it created the main part, and as soon as the agent creates something, it is previewed in the preview pane. Our company is the Music Parts GmbH, and obviously the language of this site is German. Good. Then another preview is done. Now the back-end logic is created by the agent, and this is the heavy lifting part, because we need to process the order, send an email, and do some things here. So Anna is not very interested, so we can simply close this again. And as we can see, the project is getting more and more files back here in the Explorer. So we are close to the end, because now the agent is testing the website it created, and let's wait until it verified the different functionality. And now it gives us the summary what was done. So we had all to-dos finished now. It gives us a kind of understanding that it really used the data from the file we provided. It gives us a little overview, and the language is in German as requested. Now, obviously, you need to know where the output of this agent is, and it's here in the demo system. It's the same thing, and we have spare part order as the project name. And so here we see the thing the customers can see. So if the agent instance is running in the cloud, it can provide a web interface to the public internet, and this is what is happening here. So we can see the stuff which was created, and we know that we must at least order 200 euro. So let's pick a few items. So this one is an expensive one, but still not over 200 euros. So okay, now the thing turns green, and now we need to provide the information. So we can see the button is unlocked, and I ordered more than 200 euros. I press Bestellung aufgeben, place order. I got a successful response. Let's go back to the project. So now Anna's perspective is that she gets an email, and we have an additional project folder here called placed orders, because this is the kind of reflection what was ordered. So the agent created code places the orders here and sends us an email. So we can also open this for preview, and now we see that was me ordering. These were my items. This was the order date, and so you can see that the agent is able to do very complex things with a kind of minimal user interaction. And this is possible because we have a role, we have a mission, and we have the different skills providing all the background knowledge how to do